Domino, ladies and gentlemen, a champion that we are all having so much fun fighting. This character, in terms of fighting her, is a bit of like an odd mix between fighting like a Starkanaut, Spider-Man, a Yondu, and a Dormammu, kind of all bundled into one a little bit. There's no really like good way to describe it, but I think that's something to kind of keep in mind, because there's the parrying element of Yondu, the evade element of Starkanaut, Spider-Man, and there's the super fun and interactive damage, sometimes for no apparent reason, like in the Dormammu matchup, which makes her really fun to fight. But in today's video, we're going to break down Domino's mechanics and teach you how to fight this champion as effectively as possible. So we're going to talk about how to get consistent parries on Domino, how to mitigate some of the unavoidable damage, talk about the lucky and unlucky stances and what effects they have and what you need to be aware of, and then how to deal with both the Special 1 and Special 2 when you're in, maybe an unlucky circumstance as well. So yeah, hopefully this video is going to fully teach you how to fight Domino today, and we're going to be going over a few good champion options, but if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. But let's get started with how to parry Domino consistently. Now, as we mentioned earlier, much like Yondu, Domino's light attack, the first one that she'll throw off, is a projectile. It's a gunshot, and you cannot parry a gunshot. So this is very important to keep in mind. However, when going in for a medium attack, she hits first with her fist and then with a gunshot, so that can be parried. So the lesson on parrying Domino is you can only parry a medium attack, and the way to reliably get that medium attack off is to parry from a distance, because if the enemy is charging at you, they are always going to use a medium attack. So in this rogue matchup, we've always been letting Domino come at us, make sure we're getting that space between us and Domino just so we can reliably get off the parries there and then nuke the absolute crap out of her. And one of the tactics is to do 4 hits and then dash back and get the parry. If you're a much better player as well, you can get intercepts in these intervals potentially. But the main lesson here is just, swipe back, have a distance, force Domino to use a medium attack to lunge into you, and right as she's about to hit you, tap block to parry, and then you are sorted against fighting her. Just to show you the start of another fight, we're going to go in with Ultron here, immediately get the parry, but because we're right next to Domino, it doesn't trigger. Again, if she uses that gunshot, you will not be able to parry a gunshot, you can only parry the medium, and then your stun will fail. So just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Very important tip for fighting Domino. And again, the exact same condition is against Yondu as well, because his first light attack and his third light attack are projectiles. They are Yaka arrows, so you can't parry them. So if you're already used to using this kind of parry tactic from fighting Yondu, then you're going to be pretty fine with Domino, but it's just something you need to keep in mind always when you're fighting the character, or else you might take a little bit too much damage from the heavy attacks there. Now, the next thing we're going to cover is the wonderful awakened ability that Domino has called Critical Failure. Now, anytime something is meant to proc on a character and doesn't, so this could be any effect when you're hitting the opponent, such as, say, Ultron, for example, has a 25% chance to bleed, or on attack has a small chance to get an armor up. So anytime, like, he's either hit or hits the opponent and one of those doesn't proc, then it's going to proc Critical Failure. Now, this seems to have a little bit of a delay in dealing damage of about a second, so if you're repeatedly attacking into the opponent, as you can see here, while we're like mid-combo, it's not dealing any damage. But when we get toward the end of it, then it deals a little bit there, and the more effects you have triggered, the less damage it deals. So if you're looking closely at the start of the fight, when we were on some initial hits, it was dealing about 200 per tick, and now it's down to 38. So this mechanic is just really annoying. Like, the two best ways to deal with this mechanic are either, like, have characters like Ultron that on every single hit and every single hit taken, they have, like, a chance to do something, so the damage gets really mitigated very quickly, and you're playing very aggressively there. Or you want to use a character like Vulture, Vision, maybe Hela as well, characters that pretty much have no RNG involved in their kind of standard rotation. However, one one of the very fun things that Domino does as well is she has a 15% ability accuracy reduction, so even when it comes to like throwing specials on these characters and using dexterity, there is still a chance for a critical failure, but you know, it's not going to be too much damage, and sometimes you can get through matchups without seeing any critical damage failures at all. So yeah, it's just a really annoying mechanic to deal with, and if you do have any champion suggestions for fighting Domino that haven't been mentioned in this video, please do leave them in the comments below, because I'm interested to see what other people are using for fighting Hela. But I think so far, like, Vision and Vulture seem like a couple of the best characters. Hela and Captain America seem really good as well. But yeah, I'm interested to get some more champion recommendations as well from the comments section. Now, we move on to talk about the lucky and unlucky debuffs that Domino has. So whenever Domino fills a bar of power, she has a 30% chance for herself to get lucky and the opponent to get unlucky. Now, for every hit that you have on the combo meter, the chance for you to get unlucky actually increases, which is super fun. So the more you go later into the fight, the higher chance you have to be unlucky, and when you're unlucky, kind of the biggest thing is that your dexterity mastery won't work. So when it comes to the special one, you need to make sure you are blocking it if she throws a special one, because if you go for the evade, you're just going to get wrecked there. However, a very interesting caveat of this ability to bear in mind is that skill champions are always going to get unlucky, and tech champions can never get unlucky. So this is a very important thing to bear in mind as you are kind of choosing your matchups for Domino, and it's one of the reasons why Vision is pretty much the top character for fighting Domino, as not only will Vision, being a tech character, never get unlucky, which means you can always evade that special one projectile in case she throws it on you, reducing the amount of block damage you have to take, but also using Vision's power drain, you can control Domino's power and reduce the amount of uptime she has on lucky. And the analogy that I used at the start to describe Domino again was Starkanaut, Spider-Man, Yondu, and Dormammu kind of all rolled into one, and the lucky buff is really the Starkanaut Spider-Man part, because whenever she has that active, she has a 10% chance to evade attacks, so you have to be very careful hitting into her when she is lucky active. But yeah, it's a 10% evade, so it's a little bit of a gamble. You can still nuke away, but if you want to be super safe, try and wait out that lucky buff just to be sure. And here is a wonderful example of the unlucky mechanic in action. Remember, the only class that cannot get unlucky is the tech class. So we've got unlucky at the moment. We go for the special one, we go for the evade, but it doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't work when you're unlucky. Fun times. So if you are unlucky and she throws the special one at you, remember, the only thing you can do is block, take it to the face. It's not too bad, even without a character with high block proficiency. But yeah, again, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Just some wonderful, more fun and very interactive damage to deal with. And I guess that's the Dormammu element of what makes Domino just such a great character to fight, man. What a fun time. So, you've got an idea of how to deal with the special one. You can evade it whenever you're not unlucky. You just got to wait for that canister to be coming at you. But also, just to give you a quick idea of how to deal with the special 2 as well, which is super easy. Arguably, actually one of the easiest specials to deal with in the entire game. Like, the special 2 is so straightforward. You just have to evade those initial kick flips, and then you've got plenty of time to dash back. And for the special 2, you actually don't need to rely on dexterity at all. As soon as she's firing off, just keep on dashing back as far as you can, and it's just very easy to deal with. Now, to round off this video, we are going to show the best option for Domino, which is Vision, and one of the better fights that I had with Vision. So again, one of the things that can happen in the Vision matchup is with the ability accuracy reduction, your power drain can fail, but if you're playing with Vision, you want to try and keep her under 1 bar of power to make sure that she's not getting lucky and not getting that evade up, and again, parrying from a distance to make sure that those parries guarantee that they're going to land there. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a habit and rotation you get into. But one of the really weird things I noticed watching the gameplay back is I'm pretty sure Domino is bugged. There are many points where critical failure will trigger, even though like nothing has failed. Like on that first power drain, it went through, but we still proc critical failure. And you're going to see soon, we throw like a second light attack. I think it's in one of the upcoming combos. And like critical failure triggers, but there's absolutely no reason for it to trigger. Like it's really, really confusing at some points, man. So I do not fully understand why it is triggering in some scenarios. It seems very apparently obvious in the majority of them. But yeah, there are a few weird scenarios, so if anybody is smart enough to identify what is going on, that would be certainly appreciated, especially in this upcoming one. It's the next round of combo, I believe. So we power burn, that's all successful. We throw in a final combo, and then on that final medium, we get a critical failure. Not really too sure why, and also on that second light as well. For no apparently obvious reason, like super confused on that one. So yeah, I don't know, I have a suspicion that Domino does have some pretty fun and interactive mechanics going on, ladies and gentlemen. But if today's video has helped you out, ladies and gentlemen, helped you to make Domino your bitch in Marvel Contest of Champions, feel free to smash that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, your Alliance members, you want to get them good, ladies and gentlemen, because you don't want to be carrying some scrubs in Alliance War. So make sure to share this video with them so they can have that expert Domino fighting knowledge, so that hopefully they can clear that node and they aren't full of terrible excuses when they absolutely get wrecked by a Domino. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much today for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, slap a like on it. Again, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.